It would have been the perfect Valentine's gift to black Australians. While Tony Abbott talked of a treaty in the federal parliament yesterday, he didn't call for one.
So our challenge is to do now, in these times, what should have been done 200 or 100 years ago.
Formalising a treaty with Australia's First Peoples may be a tough outcome, but it's one worth pursuing, according to one of the country's great legal minds. Professor George Williams from the University of New South Wales says the act of recognition could be a stepping stone.
I think people have called for a treaty for a long time for good reason. Other Commonwealth countries do have treaties with their Indigenous inhabitants. They're a very common way of reaching agreement about basic issues about how society is to be structured and people's rights and responsibilities. Australia's never done that.
The act of recognition certainly sparked debate across the nation, and for pro-sovereignty supporters, it was an act of treachery. The Sovereign Union government claims it has served the Governor-General with a protest letter. It wants to deal with the Crown, not the Parliament.
Yeah, you're approaching the Governor-General on the same issue because I believe that she is the one. We talk to the Queen. I don't want to talk to the CEO, as they say here in Australia. I want to talk to the Queen, and that's where it comes from. And the Queen should look at this in an important way.
Sovereignty groups say they're planning to mount a legal challenge in the UK later this year, but Professor Williams says it will be a difficult campaign.
Courts tend not to unpick the way that a country's been colonised. They assume that that was lawful. They work on the basis that sovereignty has been extinguished, even if it hasn't been given up voluntarily. And it means, in my view, that I don't think there's really likely to be any joy for people in the courts. And people have to remember, courts themselves are expressions of that colonial settlement. It's their job to uphold the system, not to undermine it.
The original Sovereign Tribal Federation says it officially served the Parliament yesterday with a declaration of self-determination and nationhood. Jeremy Geyer, NITV News, Canberra.